How many have received a notice in your email that it's time to do your renewal FAFSA? Okay, great, because they just started sending those out January the 15th, and it's going to roll through February the 15th. So if you haven't got one, you should be within this next couple of weeks. The thing is, they look at your old FAFSA that you completed for 2009-10. They take your email that you listed, and they email you that renewal reminder. It's time now to renew your FAFSA. So if your email, you don't use that email any longer, or if it's not working any longer, then it's rejected. It goes back to the Department of Ed, who sends the renewals out for you, and then they will mail you a postcard. Any which way, they really try to get you to renew that as soon as possible, because it is important to renew it as soon as possible. Let me ask you, how many are Oklahoma residents in here? We've got, okay, about half of you, because you know there is a state grant in Oklahoma that definitely is a first come, first serve, and you for sure need to renew your FAFSA before, I would say, April 1st. And some people, you know, that applied late will miss out on that grant, and that's $1,300 for the year. So every little bit helps, and that's what you want to keep in mind. Let's see. You know, every year you do have to renew. And so some people think, well, I did it the first year, do you mean I have to do it again? But just keep that in mind every year. And the reason you have to renew every year is because your income from your parents and yourself and your status, it changes. So you're really updating. And what the renewal information will tell you is to go to a particular website and to update your information. You do not have to complete the whole total FAFSA again. It's going to pull forward your name and address and your marital status, and almost everything will be pulled forward. And then it will ask you, check this out. If this is not correct, make a correction. Many people move during the year, so you have to update your address or your email, and usually the income. So that's it. Now, the thing that they do ask you to do, of course, is to sign it. And if you recall, how many recall getting their pens last year? Okay. How many remember their pen? Okay, that's the tough one. But there is a website that you can go to if you have forgotten your pen, because every renewal, any corrections, anything you do on the FAFSA website, you have to sign off on it. Not only do you as a dependent student need to sign, but one of your parents as well. So sometimes parents forget their pens as well. So if you see up there it says the PEN website across the top there, you would go to the PEN website, and it says something about, I forgot my PEN number, and you'll click through that, and it will give you, will ask for your to authenticate it, you know, with your social, your date of birth, and a couple of other questions. And then it will email you your duplicate PIN number, okay? And your parents can do that. This is the main website for the FAFSA, and it's at fafsa.ed.gov. One of the problems that they have had in the past, there's another company out, and their website is fafsa.ed.com. And if you go to that particular website, they're going to charge you. And there should never, never, never be a charge for completing a FAFSA or renewing a FAFSA. And so that's been a real problem for some people. And they come into my office and they'll say, yeah, I had to pay, you know, $500 to have this renewed, and I want to, you know, just die, because that's $500 that could certainly go to a school bill for books or whatever you really need. So keep that in mind. Never go to any place but fafsa.ed.gov. Now, what I have here are the worksheets for the 2010, 2011. What this helps you do is to gather all of the data that you might think has changed in your situation. For example, your income, I think we talked about that, or your marital status. And if the other thing that I would like to mention to you is if you plan on getting married between now and next August, that would be a situation where you would want to rethink maybe renewing your FAFSA. It might be to your benefit to wait till you're married to renew it. And that way, your financial aid would then go on your married income and your wife or husband's income versus your parents' income. And usually, that income is quite a bit different than your parents' income. And so there could be more aid available to you. What you might miss out on a state grant, but you could very well make up for it in a federal grant. So if that's the case, I would highly recommend you come into the financial aid office and either talk to me or one of the counselors there in the office, and we could run some estimates for you and would let you know which way would be to your benefit. Should you apply early, or should you wait until after you get married? We have even had students in the past not get married until maybe November. And so the business office has sometimes worked with those students to kind of carry their balance until after you're able to file your FAFSA as a married student. So keep that in mind too, okay? And you know, our office in Brazee, 110, we do have 4 counselors, and they're broke down by alphabet. So depending on what your last name is, that would be your counselor. And I'm sure most of you have visited your counselor, have you? No? There's 1, 2, 3, okay. They're there to help you. And if they're not there for some reason, I would be more than glad to talk to you about anything that you have. That's what we're here to do. I'm sure you've all received emails from them because we send out award letters once we get the results of the FAFSA information. So that is what you will, once you send in your FAFSA, your renewal, we receive it in about 5-7 days. Once we get that information, then we send out an award letter telling you what at that particular point you can expect to receive. And we're going to be having some changes this year. Every year seems to be a change, but this year in particular, you know, if you've had a loan in the past, we've asked you to choose your lender that you want to go through. It could be Stillwater National Bank or Bethany First or Bank First, or just a numerous number of banks that have done these student loans for all schools. But next year, starting in March, we will be going what we call direct lending. And the direct lending means that our bank will be the federal government. President Obama has said that he certainly wants all schools to go direct lending. And so that is what we are in the plan of changing at this point. It should not make any difference to you except for one thing. I mean, you're still going to get your money, and you probably won't know what the backside happens. You know, it'll be a change for us, but not necessarily for you, except for one thing. When we send you your award letter, we will tell you that now that we're going through the federal government direct loans, that we will need for you to apply for a new master promissory note. And it's a very simple, but you will need to go to another website and say, you know, name and address and a couple of references and sign off with your pen again. So that's going to be a change for us, major change for us. and a minor one for you all, but just keep that in mind, what's going on.